Good evening. This year for Halloween, I'm reviewing Tim Burton's classic claymation movie. And no, not The Nightmare Before Christmas. This year for Halloween, I'm reviewing Tim Burton's Corpse Bride. Let's begin. Like most Tim Burton movies, this movie stars Johnny Depp. And Johnny Depp in this movie plays a man named Victor. Now, Victor is the son of a fish merchant, and they are very, 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 very wealthy. He's said to marry Victoria, whose family is said to be rich, but actually they're dirt-ass poor. And they need their daughter to marry someone rich, or else they end up going to the poorhouse. But no one is to know that fact. And so, you can imagine their stress when Victor struggles to learn his vows. And let's just say Johnny Depp nails the awkward character to a T in this movie. But I'll get to that in a minute. So, the rehearsal does not go very well. Pastor, voiced by Christopher Lee, tells him that the wedding is to be on pause until Victor can get his vows right. And so he goes out into the woods and practices his vows, and the one time he nails it, he was practicing using the wildlife around him, like a tree was him practicing talking to his soon-to-be mother-in-law. A tree stump is supposed to be his soon-to-be father-in-law. And then when he finally puts the ring on this tree branch that's poking out of the ground, well, he ends up accidentally marrying the titular corpse bride.
With this ring, I ask you to be mine.
And with this ring, I promise to always be in Tim Burton movies with you. Like seriously, there's at least a dozen of them. Yeah, let's talk about that. So in Tim Burton's movies, he always has Johnny Depp, Helena Bonham Carter, and sometimes Christopher Lee. Well, the reason is because obviously they're very close, and Helena Bonham Carter was actually dating Tim Burton. From Planet of the Apes, where they met, all the way up until 2015. That's easily 15 years they dated. And that's why you always see Helena Bonham Carter in his movies, and his friendship with Johnny Depp is why Johnny Depp is always in his movies also. And it works perfectly, because I'll get to it in the characters, but this cast is amazing. Anyway, so after Victor and Emily are married, so to speak, they end up in the land of the dead. And you find out that Emily was supposed to be married to somebody, and the wedding dress that she's wearing is actually her mother's. And she was killed right before she could elope with her lover. And you find out who it is later on. And then Victor, wanting to get back to the land of the living to tell Victoria how he feels, he hits a snag. They're given a spell that can temporarily send them back to the land of the living because of this skeleton who, believe it or not, I did not know was voiced by Alfred from the Tim Burton Batman movies.
Land of the living? Oh, my dear.
Might I interest you in a sandwich, sir? Victor gets back to the land of the living. He lies to Emily. Yeah, more on that in a little bit. He lies to Emily, saying that he's going to go grab his parents, bring them to the forest so that they can meet Emily. But really, he's going to see Victoria to let her know what's going on and how he feels and blah, 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 blah. And when he is caught by Emily, obviously she's furious, and when they go back to the land of the dead, after a back and forth, Victor pretty much says that in normal circumstances, he would never marry Emily. Believe me, Victor, there are worse people you could be married to. So there you have it. There's the Amber Heard joke that y'all have been on my ass for about 1.5 years to make. There you go. Now shut it. After some time, Victor finds out that Emily ends up marrying the villain of the movie, Vargas, and obviously he's only interested in marrying Emily for her money because he's dirt poor, because he thinks that she's rich. He's in for a rude awakening. When Victor finds out, he's devastated, obviously.
Are all men like this? I'm afraid none of them are very bright.
I mean, honestly, most of the time he asks me about where the rum is. Then they find out that the only way that Emily and Victor can truly be married and Emily's curse can be lifted is if, well, Victor has to die. There's no other way to say it. He has to die. And then they can get formally married. And luckily, when the dead comes back to the land of the living, everyone loses their shit. It's honestly hilarious. And one of them had to make a Gone with the Wind reference. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Alright, I'll admit that's actually kind of funny. During that whole ceremony, Emily can't go through with it. Victoria is obviously there, and Emily tries to set everything right, and then Vargas obviously shows up. And it turns out Vargas was Emily's lover. And then after a very humorous climax, because of course, why not? I mean, Victor has to fight a guy with a sword with a fork. See, the ending is kind of like the way that he's defeated is kind of underwhelming. The poison that Victor was supposed to drink, Vargas ends up drinking and just walking away. What was his plan? Was he just gonna like, oh, I'm gonna drink this and then walk out like a snob? And obviously he dies, and all is well, Emily's curse is lifted, and Victor and Victoria are free to marry each other. So, overall, I love this movie, and I love Tim Burton. Victor, obviously played by Johnny Depp, he is the epitome of an awkward hero. Like, he has the worst luck, accidentally setting his soon-to-be mother-in-law on fire. Yeah, that's varsity level awkward. Victoria obviously is very romantic. She wants to marry for love, not for money. And honestly, they have really good chemistry. And this will definitely tell you all you need to know about their characters with the way that they meet. See, isn't that the perfect setup? Like, you definitely know, like, from the moment they meet, that they're gonna fall in love. That they're gonna end up together. Just from that one moment that they meet. And Emily, yeah, she's the titular corpse bride. And obviously she loves Victor very much, and she's grateful that he lifts her curse and all that. And she has a good enough heart to let him marry Victoria, even if it means that she can't have her curse lifted, because she knows what it's like to go through heartache. And I'm just gonna say it, Helena Bonham Carter is absolutely beautiful. And I can definitely tell I can definitely see why Tim Burton dated her for so long. Now, with Vargas, he is so snobby, money hungry. I honestly have expected him to walk in and just be like, "Now tell me, Victor, how much did that trial cost you?" Like, he's so snobby. I have to expect every step he takes for there to be a trail of slime behind him. And Victoria's parents are so stuck up. Like, honestly, what the hell is this?
Well, hello.
I don't know if I'm supposed to find that funny or disturbing. And honestly, just Victoria's parents suck. Victor, Victoria, and Emily are the best. And Vargas, you can go to hell. So what I didn't like was, obviously, as I said, Victoria's parents are assholes. And Victor lied to Emily. How hard is it to say, Emily, here's the thing. Is there any way I can get back to the land of the living so I can let my parents know where I am? I can let everyone know what's going on, because there's stuff I need to take care of in the land of the living. You gotta trust me. How hard is it to say that? You didn't have to lie to her and piss her off. Alright, so final thoughts. This movie is amazing. And Tim Burton and Johnny Depp, y'all need to make another movie sometime soon. Because we all miss those days. I mean, like, literally, when this movie was being filmed, they were also filming Charlie and the Chocolate Factory at the same time. Like, Tim Burton and Johnny Depp are the perfect team. When I was watching Sweeney Todd, I went to the special features and I found out something that I honestly had to rewind to figure out what the hell I just heard. Tim Burton's movies, a lot of them are musicals. Corpse Bride, Nightmare Before Christmas, a little bit of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and whatnot. And obviously, The Nightmare Before Christmas, even though he didn't direct it. A lot of his best-known films are musicals. Well, Helena Bonham Carter was sitting down giving an interview for the special features. And she said that, okay, so they have both a son and a daughter together. She said that Tim hates musicals because he's afraid that it'll make their son gay. Yeah, you heard that right. The man that gave us movies like, well, the movies I just listed, hates musicals. What's next? You gonna tell me LeBron James doesn't like basketball? For someone who hates musicals, you gotta give it to him this. You gotta give this to Tim Burton. He's good at making musicals. And overall, this movie is amazing. And I think it's Tim Burton's most underrated movies. Seriously, this movie, while it does have its fan base, this movie still needs some more love. So, our time together has come to an end. Yet again. I hope you enjoyed this review. Even though the jokes weren't really all there, but that's not my fault. I hope you all have a very happy Halloween. And until next time, stay positive and stay awesome, everyone. Farewell for now.